I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I think that's a big part of it is that it had been sitting. It's something that, you know, you like when you brought it up when we were sitting there for lunch, and you were like, what keeps you from doing it? What keeps you from actually moving forward? And it's just the fear of rejection, the fear of, what if no, what if I go through and do all this stuff and nobody reads the book, or everybody thinks it's stupid, or like, you just have so much fear that you just don't you it just keeps you paralyzed from moving to the next step. And I had already been living with that for a long time already. Like, I'd done a lot of the work secretly, but I just, needed, I guess, just one more push. Like, I think it was just timing, because you came right at the moment where I knew it was something that I should do, but I just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what step to take next. And that whole thing just sort of terrified me. And I think it was good. I mean, the way that you did it, the fact that you didn't tell me all the steps on the first day. You were like, just do this. And it was like, okay, I'll do that. And, and so it was like, okay, I can do that one small thing. Like, um, and then that led to the next thing of, okay, well, now you have to do this. Oh, okay. So, I guess when you get to that point where you're just like, okay, I'm scared and this is terrifying, but I'm desperate.
What you're describing right now is the pain and pleasure of every human being. It's going to be the pain of getting it done because you're not sure, you're just, you're not quite sure, you're maybe overwhelmed or confused on how to even get started, or you're afraid, right? That's the pain of being afraid. What if they don't like it? What if it doesn't work? What if? But then, the pleasure, like if you did something, this could happen and that could happen, and so much more. But the pain was more real at the moment. However, what happened to you was the pain got so much to the point where it was now more painful not to do anything about it.
Yeah. And just the fact that it was like, okay, well, Eddie's going to help me. Like, he's going to walk through this with me, that I don't have to do it alone.
So do you remember when we talked about, and we said, I said something like, if you had a following, the emails that you had,
Yeah.
and then I gave you a description of this many emails you can have. You can have so many emails, and then if you send one email to everybody and ask for support, you would get so much money. Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that?
Giving people, like you said, the one thing that you said that really struck out to me was that you said, people want to give to you, but they're going to be more motivated if they get something in return. And I didn't think about that. And so it was like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. Cause who doesn't want to get a little something in return for giving? And I was like, before it was just well, you're going to get a good feeling knowing that you're doing the right thing. But, sometimes you just need a little bit more something else. And I thought that was really good that you said that, and it encouraged me that, yeah, and then it just got me thinking, like, how, sending these emails out and, getting them, subscribing, but then also sharing with them every day. And I was like, I have a lot of other things there's a lot of things that I didn't put in the book. There's a lot of things that I can share that I know, and this would be a great way to share more of what I know and more of what I have to share. To be more encouraging, inspiring, on a regular basis. It goes way beyond just the book, and the opportunity goes way beyond the book. And so it's a win for everybody, because it's a win for me too, to be able to share.
It is. So you basically now you have a landing page or a lead page, lead magnet page where you're sharing that chapter, right? So now you're increasing your subscribers. And eventually everyone is going to be led to buy the book. But ultimately for you, it's the support.
Yeah.
And so in every step of that, there is always a win and win for everybody, always. And I think now that you have this, at least this is a startup, this is a system. I mean, remember we talked about how many other ideas and stuff that you can actually come
Yeah.
up with. It's amazing, but it's just a startup. So you have two things that you need to do, right? You need to just tell people about the chapter that you're giving away in your book,
Yeah.
but more importantly, what you said is sharing more of your story and connecting with them through email.
Right.
That's very important.
Yeah.
So out of this whole event so far, what do you think is the biggest thing that you're taking? If there was one thing that you've learned so far with both of us communicating and getting this stuff together, what would that one thing be?
Well, that, I mean, if you have, I feel like, yeah, like you said, everybody has something to share. That it just takes you sitting down and thinking about it for a minute and having, taking the time every day to process and those thoughts, and just get them down and write them down and not really worry so much about whether it's perfect or whether it sounds amazing, whatever that looks like. Like we have like this idea that there's some perfect way to convey our thoughts, but really everybody just wants you to be real. And that's one of the things that you said is like, don't worry about it so much, like just write it down and you can fix it later if you need to. Like, don't let the desire for something to be perfect to keep you from just moving forward and just doing whatever you have, using whatever you have and writing whatever thoughts you have, and just getting it out there, pushing the button, letting it go.
There you go. And we let it go for sure. We let it go. Oh man, that's wonderful. I really appreciate you sharing that with me, because everything that you said, what encourages me the most and gets me all excited is when people like yourself have a passion, have a story, and you're able to transfer that information using the internet. Like that to me is like amazing, because the power and the impact that you will have on other people's life that you never thought possible is going to be amazing.